Hey guys, welcome to Paint-A-Palooza. We go live usually on Wednesdays, but tomorrow is New Year's. We were going to go ahead and go live tomorrow, but we decided let's just get to painting today. So today is going to be the live video in lieu of our regular Waste Not Wednesday. So hopefully we get the word out, because I know we had said we were going to do that. And we always try to be like, if we say we're going to do it, we're going to do it, because we try to be reliable. So we're letting you know today is, instead of Waste Not Wednesday, we're painting thrift store finds and making them over. We're going to move the box Waste Not Wednesday to next week. So we've been collecting boxes that we want to make over, and Zep's going to do that. So next Waste Not Wednesday, we'll have the box project going on. Today, we're just finishing things that have sold, and then a few things that have not sold yet. I think this is all from last week.
Some of it, yes.
I don't think anything.
Actually, no, everything. Well, some of it's the week before.
Yeah, some of it's the week before because we had Christmas and we got to get it shipped out. And then there's a couple things that haven't sold yet. Nothing over $5 here from the thrift store. Just giving things some new looks. Hopefully it gives you ideas. First thing I'm going to do is one of the easiest things I feel like you can do. Sometimes you find art, but the frames aren't great. I will show you the art in a little bit for these. If you guys watch the video, they had some seasonal art in them. And the frames are just really dark. And the art is kind of dark. And so I'm going to lighten up these frames. They're already sold. And then we're going to ship those on. And then this was like one of those little Home Depot projects.
Yeah, that's the best way I could describe it.
It's a little big for that, but it had some handprints on it. And it needed to be shored up. So this is going to get painted and get a little makeover. Zeb is making a little cloche. So why don't you tell them what you're doing while I get
So the cloche here, this is the two pieces, because this, you just saw me unwrap this out of the package. And then, so that's going to sit on top of this glass candlestick. And I think we paid $4 for the whole deal. Oh, no, it was half off. So yeah, $4. So originally this candlestick would have been $4 by itself before we got half off Goodwill days.
I think that's from 2 weeks ago. Was it half off day that we got all that, or was it not? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the day. It's all blurring together.
Yeah, I mean,
the end of the year
feel like that one piece as itself just looks like a cone head. Like, you know, like that movie, The Coneheads. But if you put it on the base, I feel like it gives it more balance. It
is like a really tall cloche without like a knob or anything.
Yeah, which is fine. But I just think it's going to look so much better on that candlestick. So we specifically went out and bought E6000. We didn't have any.
I feel like half of what we do is removing price tag labels from the thrift store.
I'm using crockery, and you can pick all of the paint and products up at JamieRayVintage.com. When we're in kind of a project quick mode, we love to use the Cottage color paints because they're self-leveling and they have a built-in sealer. The hardest thing you're going to have to do with this paint is stir. You want to stir, 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 because if you don't, the top coat separates from the paint and it'll be kind of runny and not very good coverage, and nobody wants that. So, and yes, I'm using a butter knife, and no, I don't care. It's 25 cents at the thrift store, and I'll wash the paint off and it'll be fine.
Disclaimer.
And no, I don't care. I feel like I got to say that. You know, it's one of those things. Social media is the wild, wild west of people telling you how to live your life, telling you your business, which is fine. We're used to it by now. Recently, it's been kind of fun because we've had a few videos go viral or close to it. And everybody telling me when I should be taking down my Christmas decor. And they're like, oh, it's because you're an influencer. All the influencers take down their Christmas. I've been taking down my Christmas the day after Christmas or closely to that, like almost my entire life, even before I did social media. So that's just my jam, and I do it because I want to. And I'm glad I did, because we've got a lot of stuff going on. We're not going to have time after this.
So we use a lot of different glues and various different applications here. This E6000 is particularly good for like dishes, porcelain, glass. It's a little thicker than super glue, so I don't use it for repairs. As far as like cracks and chips go, I use like a Gorilla Glue, the gel, or the Loctite gel. And sometimes I just use regular super glue depending on how big the chip is. But for an application like this, this is going to be perfect. This is why you get the E6000. It's nice and thick. It sets up pretty quick, and it bonds really well to wood and glass.
You want something that's going to last, especially if you're thrift flipping. You don't want to send something to somebody that's going to fall apart.
Well, and with like super glue, it's almost too thin to get enough of a bond. This is too much heavy duty lifting, too much weight for super glue.
It also holds up well to like moisture or heat or cold changes. So it's kind of a good thing. I'm getting pretty good coverage with 1 coat of crockery, but I'll do 2 coats to cover it completely. And then these frames will get a light distress and I will move on with my life. This is going to be easy project. I paid $2 each for these with the art, and I think I sold them for like $22. So keep that in mind if you're a flipper. Art's good, especially if you can get it inexpensively. And sometimes people just don't think past the color of the frame. And we all know here at the Jamie Ray Vintage that paint is just a color. Just like age is just a number, paint is just a color. It's not a big deal.
Okay, we're gonna set this aside. I've got that pretty well centered. You can measure if you want. This is pretty easy. I've got about 3/4 of an inch all the way around.
My sister Deborah is on here to confirm that that is a true about me and Christmas, that I'm not just making it up. I have always taken it down. And a lot of people celebrate Three Kings Day. Until I did social media, I never heard of that in all my life. When we do Advent, we celebrate for 24 days. We start December 1st reading a scripture and lighting a candle every night. It's not really like it is religious because it's about Jesus, but it's not religious in that that's what my church does. It's just what we do is 24 days of Advent. So people are like, oh, you're rushing it. Well, those are also the people that don't start till like Christmas Day. And we just do it leading up to Christmas and Christmas Eve. So it's kind of fun. The kids look forward to it.
And as far as rushing the season, we've been celebrating since like the day after Thanksgiving.
I've been celebrating since the day after Halloween. People are like, but then you miss Thanksgiving. I'm like, listen, I'm thankful for Christmas.
All right. Are you using, I really liked the sage and green on this.
Oh, I was just going to do crockery on that, but you can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do crockery, but I'm going to lighten it up with some.
Okay. Joanne says, just do me. That is the story of my life. It's one of those things.
And you have to, like, if you start living your life because of what other people think or other people want you to do or expectations, you end up just chasing your tail your whole life.
And you can't please everybody.
Yeah, you're not going to make everybody happy. So no matter what you do, you're always going to fail at that. So you might as well just make yourself happy and do those things that you love to do.
We do not sell Zeb's apron anymore. We used to carry that one. I'll try to get some more aprons in the new year. Maybe I'll just give Zeb my login to my wholesale account and he can start buying things that he wants, because we used to have, Ivy just left us and she was our shipping and receiving manager and she did a lot of our purchasing and she's gone. So I'm doing the purchasing for like the wholesale items and Caitlin is doing like the paint, the IOD, things like that. And so it's going to be good. And I did the purchasing for wholesale anyways, like for the home decor and clothing and stuff, but she did like the reorders. Now I'm kind of over all of it. So, which is fine because I do like to shop. It's not the worst thing in the world to buy things.
This is what she does in the evenings, that she's like got a show on TV that she's seen 100 times, but she just, it's like an old friend. You just put a show on, hang out, watch it every now and then, but really she's ordering.
Recently, I've been watching these people with a chateau in France. There's a lot of them. And this one's like how to renovate a chateau without killing your partner or something. I think that's the name of the channel. And they're actually really funny. And I like them. So I've been watching them while I've been getting my work done. Sometimes I just have to have something on in the background. I do a lot of listing because we do all of the individual listings for the thrift haul every week. And that's a lot. So.
Okay.
Pam got her Happy Mail for being a share winner. She can't wait to use her paint on project. Oh, that's fun that you got paint. We send all kinds of different stuff. I never know what's going to go. I just have a shelf that I just put things on that I want them to ship. And then the gals that work for us, they choose what they want to ship out. And sometimes it's really paint that's like damaged, so we can't sell it, but it's still usable.
It really is like luck of the draw, like whatever's over there that either A, we are just going to give away, or B, usually it has like a little slight imperfection, but still totally usable, and we'll ship that out to you. It's good for good for experimenting. No strings attached.
If you guys are wanting to order the subscription papers, you have until the 12th to get signed up. And then if you sign up after that, you'll just get the next month. But if you liked this month's papers, get your orders in for that.
And we're probably going to show next February
in the next
papers.
Week or so.
It'll probably be next week. We'll show that so that people can, if they want to sign up for that one. Because you can sign up month to month. It's a little more. But if you sign up for the subscription, you're going to save a little bit.
Well, to get the February's, you would need to sign up after the 12th. So on the 13th is when those will start.
I'm just saying if you're doing like the one-time sign up.
Transfers over.
Okay, so I've got a really light cream. I mixed the white linen with the crockery color, which is like a really great like neutral tan croc looking color. Like it looks like stoneware. And because I wanted a little bit lighter color on this, but not white. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one too. You remember this had like the I think it said basil and thyme or something like that on there. We're going to do a similar effect.
I'm just dry brushing this, seeing where I'm going. I don't know if I like that. We'll see. It's got a very like soft detail on it. Sorry, can you guys see? Not anything crazy. So I can't go too hard or else I'll just paint the whole thing because it's not that embossed, if that makes sense. It's like a very soft embossing.
Yeah, it's just pressed wood.
But you couldn't see any of the detail because they just painted it solid. They didn't know about the dry brushing. And they did paint it. It originally came from Walmart and it was just white. I think that's looking better. I'm going to let it dry. It's a little shiny. And then we'll see where we're going from there. Thank you, Caitlin. She dropped the link to the paper subscription. What are your plans for New Year's, guys? I have no idea what. I know Caitlin is possibly coming over. I know we invited her. It's that time of year. 'Tis the season for sickness. And we're always very low pressure invitees. Like, come, don't come. I hate it when people pressure you around the holidays. Like, it's really annoying. Everybody should do what they want. But
and then you get the people that are like, we're all sick. Just come anyway.
If it sweetens the pot, I did bake a cheesecake last night. So just letting Caitlin know that. We're going to buy some fireworks today. I haven't seen a lot of fireworks vendors, so we got to get those. And then I got to figure out what we want to eat. I don't know if I want to cook something or if I want to just go pick something up. And I have no idea. I know Jack will be home. He actually got invited to a friend's house, but I told him if his cousins were coming, he was going to hang out here. And then I don't know, Eliza and Redrick probably won't even be home because they're teenagers and they got friends. So unless we're hosting the party for them, which I have not been informed of.
Well, Redrick said he might have some friends come over, but then they all decided to get together and they're going to a trampoline park this afternoon because everywhere is still open until like 6.
Oh, Caitlin says that is the plan now. She's coming. Perfect. And I think her boys got like a fun RC boat, so we were going to open the pool so that way they could do that.
I did not know that. That's fun.
Yeah. And
I probably need to go clean the backyard a little bit then. It's winter and fall have been hard on the backyard.
They're fine. Just brush blow the leaves off to the edge and.
Well, we'll have to have Jack go do his chore.
Oh, the pooper scooper, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if this is showing up on camera. It probably just looks like it's like a bright white, but it's a nice soft cream color, I promise. I'll bring it close and show you once it dries and you'll be able to see. Maybe we'll do something just in white so we can show you the contrast.
So they didn't take the tag off, so we're gonna take the tag off. I'll paint the bottom solid. I'll finish dry brushing the sides with the crockery, which I actually kind of like. I like the contrast of, sorry, it's kind of shiny, so it's not looking perfect, but I'm gonna just keep going with this. And then the inside, I'll leave the blue color and then I'll just dry brush just the lip. I'm not using Provincial, I'm using crockery. I used Provincial in yesterday's video. I think the only thing that didn't sell from yesterday's video, I haven't checked, is the little box. But everything else sold. I wasn't sure if I was gonna take the time to do a little DIY afterwards, but we've really been trying to stay on top of our projects.
It really helps keep us accountable if we're like, okay, in this video, we are going to paint something and put it in there.
Well, it also, I feel like it also shows people just like how easy, typically what will happen, because on Monday's video, we edit that in real time, meaning we're thrifting on Monday and you're getting the video on Monday. So Zeb will come home, he starts editing the video, and then I start painting, and then occasionally I'll start photographing. Yesterday, I was in a rush, so I had to use a heat gun off camera because we had to get to Eliza's basketball game she was cheering at it too. So I still have half of a dining table full of thrift items to photograph today.
You want to see Jamie have an eye twitch? Leave the thrift haul out on the table all night. And
I don't like waking up.
Have her wake up to it in the morning and have it still be in there.
It's one of the reasons we're working on getting a studio in 2025 for the Saturday night videos.
I mean, that can just be the next big project.
So that way we can just leave everything at the shop.
We're working on getting Jack moved to a different room because he was in the old playroom, and it doesn't have like a proper closet. We just have like a IKEA armoire that we put in there for him, and he's going to go in Redrick's old room.
What's the difference between medium and A4? So just size. The measurements are on the listing, Deb. Medium paper is about yay big, and rice paper is just slightly different than 8.5 by 11 because it's a metric size, but the sizes are listed on the website. So it's just the size of the paper. And the texture is a little different too. It's both rice paper, but it's different manufacturers that we get it from. We don't make our own.
The medium paper is a little heavier duty.
Yeah. And it's also more expensive because it's heavier duty and larger.
Okay, I'm going to just set this to dry over here. It should dry pretty quick. You guys saw me, if you were watching the beginning of the video, I have like sticker residue. I just put some soap. You can kind of see it running down here, soaking on there. And now that's ready to wipe off. It's just going to
I need to be careful because if anybody watched the channel member video a few weeks ago, I cut my nail. My finger has recovered. I should have been more.
You know, I've taken great care to like work with knife skills with the kids, like whittling, carving, cutting in general, meal prep, vegetables. But I never have like worked with Jamie because she's 42 now.
I know how to use a knife. It's the same reason you can't find things.
I know.
We all have.
It's just one of those things. It's one of those things. Like I'm going to give it a surface pass over. If I got to dig, that's likely I won't find it.
Sometimes he'll tell, like, we'll be looking for something that the shop needs because we have it at home or whatever, and I'll be like, "Let me look," and then I find it, and the girls just laugh. All right, good enough. I'm not worried about perfection. This is just the bottom here.
I might have to get a magic eraser. It's like some weird, it's almost like this had something black on it from the manufacturer, but that was new. I just took the wrapping off of it, so I don't know what would already be peeled off of that. All right, that's all cleaned up. Sticker residue is gone. Let's get a coat of paint on this. You can kind of see in between these two, it's almost like a beadboard. They had the green. I'm going to go back with that, and I might do that to that tote.
All right, here is my finished project. Just dry brushed it, left the inside turquoise, painted the bottom because they didn't paint the bottom and it was a mess. I don't know. I think it's a little bright, so you can't really see, but in real life, it's just really soft. So I'll be sure to get a picture of this. I don't think it's sold yet. So it'll look good with some greenery in it for the spring. Is Zeb's project wood? Is that wood?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a cedar. It's like textured.
Yep.
I'm gonna flip this like this so it can dry.
I'm not going to paint all the way down inside. There's some dirt down in there. It was used as a planter. It's got some water stains, which will come back. Those aren't going to go completely away. No matter what I do, I could sand them and they'd probably come back.
I'm going to go crockery on this too. It's kind of a cream color anyways, but crockery with dark wax would go really well with the greenery that's going in here.
I have something fun to show you guys. As soon as I'm done painting this, I'll show you. I've not tried it before. I just had the idea this morning. I'm sure someone's done it out there on the internet, but I've not seen it. And I'm excited to show you what I did to kind of repair something that didn't make it to Saturday's haul because we forgot to photograph it. But you would have, if you watched last week's videos, you would have seen me thrift it. But I'm gonna start implementing it on a lot of things. So you know, build up the suspense. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you. In a sec. It's going to blow your mind.
The suspense is mounting, Zeb.
It's probably not.
This is really not going to look that much different. I'm going to like the color better. I'm going to dark wax it too. They did like a cream with a glaze, and it's not my favorite look. So,
you know, this is one of those examples where super glue is going to come in handy. I've got some little splits in this wood.
Stress it if the dark from the base color would just come through. I might do that.
This is the Loctite. We go back and forth between Gorilla and Loctite all the time. Both are equally good. I like both.
We do not have a preference. We are not sponsored by either one.
No. No one's over here giving me free Loctite, so I can tell them how amazing it is.
We haven't done any sponsored videos in a long time.
You know, even when we did sponsored videos, I would tell the sponsor up front, I'd be like, I'm going to do an honest review. You can provide the product however you want. If your product doesn't hold up to my testing or standards, I'm going to let people know. And so, you know, some people backed out and other people would be like, yeah, use it up, abuse it, see how tough it is. We want a good, honest review on it. And those are the kind of people I like to work with, because I don't want to be over here telling you guys, oh, this is amazing. And then you guys get it and you're like, no, Zeb, it's not amazing.
Well, I mean, sometimes they're giving you something like, listen, it's not like you're giving me a Bugatti, okay? You're giving me like free product. Not that I would lie for a Bugatti anyways, but is it Bugatti? Is it?
That's a high-end car.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah, I don't know my cars, but anyways.
It's like the high-end car that like someone drives you around in. You can drive them, but.
Well, I drive around in a Volvo and you drive me everywhere.
That's because you just don't like to drive.
Also, you don't like the way I drive, which you're not wrong. I'm not horrible.
It makes me sick to my stomach.
Although you're not the best driver either. It's funny because he thinks he's amazing and he will pull right up on people's butts and scare the crap out of like my girls. And he thinks he's the best driver.
I'm just going easy on the brakes, you know. You don't want to.
Anyways, we haven't died yet, and he only complains minimally when I go, but like I tell him it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's like blinking. I can't help it.
I have never proclaimed to be a great driver.
That's good, but you've been good thus far at it. I just think sometimes he's a little cocky, and I feel like it's always important to be humble when it comes to skills like driving.
Listen, there's a race car driver inside of me that comes out sometimes.
Not a race car driver inside of you. Hummingbird Lane says, I've never been a cream color fan, but I'm loving crockery. You know why I think you love crockery? Because it's a warm color and it's not yellow. Some creams are like yellow and I just don't like it. How do you determine when to wax and dry brush? Traveling Penguin, it really just depends. Sometimes I'll wax if I feel like something has some nooks and crannies for it to get into. Sometimes I just dry brush because I don't want wax. Like if I'm going to put something outside, no, I'm not saying I've never waxed it because y'all know I have. A lot of times I'll do like a dry brush or a glaze technique because those will hold up better in the sun than wax. And sometimes it's just preference. I also dry brushing, it's fast. Waxing, you got to brush it on, you got to wipe it off. If I dry brush with Cottage color, it's like done. So it just kind of depends. And they both look a little different. So
this was splitting where the handle was. I put the super glue in there. It's going to dry really fast, and it's just a small little crack. It'll adhere really well. So we'll set this aside. It's probably going to need a second coat. It's a little splotchy.
I need like a little crumb broom because I now have little patina rust over here, and it's making me nuts.
Do you need me to go get my little vacuum?
No, it's okay. Fine. It's not ruining my life yet, but if you're wondering why I brushed that, it was just looking a little streaky. And I'm going to distress it so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't like streaky paint finishes.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to dry this. I need to let that cool before I distress it. You never want to distress metal when it's warm. It'll just peel off. This looks a lot better already. I was not a fan of that silver situation. This will probably get a dark wax on it because I want it to go down in the cracks. And that's the other difference too. So dry brush sits on top. dark wax goes in like in the cracks and you wipe it back. So it's just a different look.
Okay, just a little touch up here. It's mostly full coverage, but it was raw wood, so it soaked it down, and you can kind of see where it absorbed it more in some places than others. And putting a second coat will get rid of all those high lows that you see.
This really didn't need a second coat, but I'm doing it anyways just to make sure there aren't any silver peekaboos on this situation. Make sure everybody's,
Is everyone alive?
Roger got a ride.
He did get a ride. All right.
Let me just make sure it's the same ride that I arranged.
I mean, I don't think we'll still be painting in 2 hours. We might, but I don't know that we have enough projects for that right now.
I don't know. You never know with us.
I didn't bring enough projects out.
I'm just going to lightly distress and bring back that cream color and maybe some of the dark from the original, like what it was underneath the white. Maybe a little shiny.
I don't know about you guys, but it has been a pretty warm, rainy winter so far. We've got snow down in the valley here like twice, and it hasn't stuck more than maybe a few hours. And it's barely freezing at night right now. We do have a kind of a cold snap coming end of the week and first of the week next week, but it's still only going to get down in like the 20s at night. So we probably will get snow if we get moisture, but it's showing it's been raining all through Christmas for like last week.
Or like
no snow.
Washcloths in here. I think because the inside is rusty.
The mountains are getting lots of snow, but down here we're not.
It's getting foam, so I don't know why they were worried about that.
Yeah, I don't either. The foam goes right down in there. I got it over there.
Yeah,
and
I'm just going to shove it back in.
You were going to tape that off, but it's so much easier to just...
No, it's great. I will repaint the bottom. I mean, some of the rust could possibly come through on the bottom, but I'm also not worried about it. The bottom. Maybe I should paint the inside to give it some protection, but it's not Rust-Oleum, so I'm not worried about it. I always love it when people are like, I can't believe you didn't do this. I can't believe you didn't do that. I'm like, listen. I feel like this is a Listen Linda session. If I spend 4 hours on this project that I sell to you for $20, after supplies and buying and insurance and wages and shipping and all those things, I will make 50 cents. And then I will no longer be able to make videos for you because I will be homeless. So yeah, part of the business is knowing how much time you're going to spend on something. I would never send out something I wouldn't put in my own home, but I'm also not going to just, you know, spend 45 billion years on it. All right, I'm just making sure this is distressed as much as I want it to be.
All right. I got to let that dry. Now I'm just fiddling with it.
Because I feel like the more I distress this, the more I like it. And this is how crazy good this paint is. This was metal and shiny, and I painted it 5 minutes ago, and I'm struggling to get the paint off. Do I have an Amazon influencer account? Yes, I do. I do. I actually am curious. I don't know how to check it. I do know they send me money. I usually make about $50 a month. But we did that video that went viral, and so we've had a lot of links to the containers, and I'm curious how much I made from that video going viral if people actually click the links. That is something I want to do better in 2025 is I want to get my Amazon account, like my store, more organized because I do shop. I either shop like Amazon, Costco, or small store. There's no in between. And what a lot of people don't realize is Amazon is a lot of small vendors. It's almost like it's like a marketplace.
Next to your purchase, this is fulfilled by a small business.
We actually have a lot of friends that sell on Amazon.
Amazon is becoming more like a marketplace.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of like going to Walmart any more than I have to. So, or anywhere for that matter. So a lot of stuff gets shipped to me. And I feel like it's not because they drop off to so many people, it's probably more eco-friendly than everybody driving their own cars all over the place. I can't guarantee that. I also order
It's just Jamie thinking out loud over
I
here.
also order my groceries from Sam's Club now because they do free delivery. You just have to tip the driver. Oh, well, I'm going to repaint that. That was the paint underneath wasn't on there very good.
All right, here we go. I'm going to show you guys this. All right, if you remembered, I think it was last Monday. Where'd I go with that little piece that I just had? Now I said it somewhere what I wanted to show you.
Oh, the video that went viral was I've had 2 short form content videos on Facebook, and they've actually done decently well on YouTube, but not viral. It's just my video making neighbor gifts and then also taking down my Christmas.
So this little teapot was busted, cracked on the tip. I just took my grinder with like a masonry, that's not a bit, blade cutter on there. And it worked out really well. It just zipped off that broken piece right off the top of that pot. And now it's like nice and flush. I just took a little 220 grit sandpaper, and it's got some stains. Someone probably was putting some tea or something in this. You can see here where this is white and the break is brown. Someone's used that after the fact. So this will probably age up, but pretty excited about that.
Double A Flea says that's amazing. Yeah, my neighbor gifts, we do them every year. I actually used the exact same packaging last year. I just didn't make a video. And the funny thing is I literally just whipped out my camera to make a reel without even saying anything to Zeb about what I was doing. And I slopped it together. It took no time at all. And it was something that I did not do specifically for content. I just did it because we do neighbor gifts. We've been doing them for years. They've been different every year, but I just thought it was funny. And so we did it. And next year it actually paid for all. So people don't, if you don't make content, you might not know this. People sometimes think if you have like a couple million views on a reel, oh my gosh, you made it, you're rich. I think we made like $300 on Facebook, but that paid for our neighbor gifts, which is really exciting. So I told Zeb, next year I'm going to film it again. And I want to do like little golden envelopes and put some Christmas cash in them and send them out. And a lot of people were like, I can't believe you have that many neighbors. So we live in Utah, and we go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is heavily concentrated. Think of like Vatican City and the Catholic Church. That's like Lehigh and the LDS Church. So we go to church with a few hundred people that live close by us. So we have a lot of neighbors that we know. Plus, we make it a point to know all the neighbors that we don't go to church with. And a lot of people we know from sports, school, whatever, because we have kids. And we also like to drop off gifts to people that maybe we don't know, because it's just a fun thing to do. And so, yeah, we don't live in a bougie neighborhood. We're actually probably in one of the more diverse demographic neighborhoods in Lehigh. And we don't live in an apartment building. We just know our neighbors. And they also drop things off. We got fun things this year. We got phase 10.
Yeah.
A roll of paper towels with a cute little saying on it, which we've already used the whole roll. Jam from my neighbors down the street. We got a puzzle, a book, a bunch of treats.
Some soap.
Some soap. Yeah, my soap from my cute neighbor next door. She got me that soap next to my sink. And it's not about spending a lot of money. It's just about like enjoying your neighbors. And
I feel like it's more about like meeting them and saying hi and hey, I'm thinking of you. It's like a Christmas card with a treat. And
we have a ton of like, we live in an older neighborhood. So we have a lot of like single, like widows, widowers. So that's really fun to like send Jack up, and he runs it to the door and we talk to him for a few minutes. It takes a few hours to get it all passed out, but it's just a fun thing, and that we've been doing since we lived in our other neighborhood. And then it was funny, the comments about wearing gloves. I'm like, I washed my hands, I sanitized my countertop, and I in a million years would never care if my neighbors made me cookies without gloves. Like, I'm not in a commercial kitchen. I'm just in my kitchen. Yeah. And I'm probably not going to wear gloves next year either. Sorry. It's funny because people are also talking about like, well, what would be a healthy alternative? I'm like, I guess I could hand out bagged salads, but nobody wants a salad for Christmas. I mean, maybe a few people.
All right, so this goes in this tray. It had some chips and dings that I didn't really notice before, so I kind of gave it a little distressing to make it look more worn in. And now I'm going to oil that. And it's just like oil over the metal, but that'll help keep the metal from rusting.
Carolyn says, we're Wiccan. And I say, come on in, Mormon missionaries. Yeah, it's totally cool. Our neighbors are Catholic. They live around the corner. They're always super nice to the missionaries. My daughter's a missionary, so I appreciate it when people are kind to her, no matter what. One of the things she's been working on helping is trying to help people get job skills, things like that. They do all kinds of things, not just like talking about church. Carolyn said salad, no.
Carolyn, I'm with you because Jamie said, what do they want me to? Lots of people who are like, this treat would go straight in the trash. If you bring me a bag salad, I'm not against
we
salad.
wouldn't throw it in the trash. We'd give it to the chickens.
Yeah, they would probably go to the chickens. I just don't eat a lot of salads.
I like salad.
I get like if we're going out to eat like a sit down restaurant, I'll get the salad with the meal. I'll eat it then, but it's not like my go-to snack. All right, so I oiled that. Oiled these boards. This is teak wood, which is awesome, and this is done. It just here. I'll hold this.
It's not really working. Just trying to get up the rust that came off of that.
Good luck.
It's basically just getting all over the floor. All right.
So this had some water spots on it. I just sanded them off and resealed that, and that's good to go.
Well, that was, I mean, kind of fruitful. On thrifted florals, do you wash them? Sometimes I just take like a damp rag. I have heard about people putting them in the dishwasher. I'll hose them off in the shower. I mean, I don't scrub them, but they're plastic. So usually you could just take like a damp rag, like a microfiber one, clean them off. Oh, cool vacuums. Details, please. It's
a little shark.
A shark vacuum. If Caitlin's on here, they probably do sell them on Amazon. This one's from Costco. We've had
You just put it on its little dock and it recharges. It's awesome.
It's been abused.
Yeah. A lot. The kids use it to vacuum the stairs, so you know it's been dropped down the stairs a few times.
We just have the charger in the half bath that's right there.
All right, I'm heat gunning this to kind of get the wax off. I did put it in the freezer, and that worked to get a large amount of wax off, but it's got like these little chips that I can't get.
So we start selling on Saturday at 8:30. It usually goes up about 8:25. Caitlin sends out a push notification.
Saturday PM, 8:30 p.m.
Sorry. Caitlin sends out a push notification on the Jamie Ray Vintage app and a text message once it goes live. We try to be as organized as possible, and we do get asked a lot if we'll pre-sell things, and I absolutely just won't. Occasionally, I'll give things to family and friends, and I will always do that. That's my prerogative. The people I know in real life. And even then, sometimes I'm like, no, that's too popular. We're going to have to wait. It wouldn't be fair. But we don't pre-sell things for anybody because a lot of times, especially if it's something, if you love something a lot, chances are there's like, we're getting a bunch of messages about it. And so to be fair, we just list the same time every week. Also, it takes us a long time to get things listed. So if we pre-sell something, we're like looking it up, going back and forth with somebody. And it's not that I don't love talking to people, but it takes a lot of time and the listing takes a lot of time anyways. So we just have a blanket. We don't pre-sell and we list on Saturdays, and it's worked really well for us. And I think it's it's the fairest way that we've come up with it. So thanks for asking. When it comes up, it's Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time, usually just before that. The regulars are always just stocking the website if there's something that they wanted. And occasionally it is the Hunger Games of junk. We do try every week to have a good selection. And if something's popular, we'll continue to buy it for a while so everybody can get one. But I mean, they're unique items. So, all right. Thanks, Caitlin. She dropped a link to our vacuum from Amazon. I don't know that Costco even still has them. That's just where I got mine way back when.
Yeah, we've had it for like, 4 years? Something like that. It's been good.
Oh, Deborah says, that's my box I jumped on. I'm excited to receive the planter. Boxwood was my dad's favorite. Well, I'm glad you like it, Deborah. It turned out pretty cute. I painted the bottom for you. And it's just a little bit of a different look. Sometimes
I think she's talking about this one.
Nope, she said boxwood was her favorite. I think it was the one I just did.
Boxwood.
Boxwood, like the plant. We have a Shark like regular vacuum too. I am of the opinion that vacuums really only work well for us for about a year. And no matter what they are, they die. We clean them out, we change the filter, all the things, but they just don't suck up well after a year. And I've bought every vacuum on the planet except for there's like a one that starts with an M. It's like $1,000. Have not bought that, but I'm kind of like, if I knew it would work, I would buy it, but I just don't trust it.
So when I was growing up, we had one of those like janitor style vacuums that has the big bag that expands on the back of it. It sounds like a jet engine taking off. We called it the Pig. I think that actually might have been the brand of vacuum.
It was probably a Hoover.
I don't know, but it sucked up. I lost a lot of things to that vacuum, and you'd dump the bag out and you'd be going through it. Because it would just suck up anything that was close, and I miss it. It didn't have a beater bar, so if you had like hair or things, it didn't necessarily do a good job with that, but it was a good vacuum, and it lasted us a lot of years. I remember we had that for a long time as a kid.
Paige says, do you ever offer redo suggestions if you send a picture? Yeah, you can email us one. It is sometimes problematic if people just say, what would you do to this? Because I think, where is it going to live? What is your style? Usually if you watch us enough, you would know what, like, you kind of see what we do on certain things, and we're pretty consistent.
We stick in our lane to neutrals and greens, blues a lot.
I do think that one of the things we like to tell people more than telling them what to do is we give you ideas of how we come up with what we're going to do. And so one of my favorite things to do is, if I have a piece, I like to go to Pinterest and I search that piece, and then I'll put like makeover or French country style or whatever. And then I look up how other people have done it, and then I try to recreate that from there. So Pinterest is usually my go-to for looking up how to redo things, or like Google image search. We have all wood floors, but I use a vacuum in it. We only have throw rugs, but we use a vacuum. I can't even imagine the amount of energy it would take to sweep and like dust, the little dust broom. Our house it's pretty big, and it would take, we use a broom occasionally, but when we're doing the whole house, I just get the vacuum out and just put it on hardwood. Hey, Jack, go find something to do instead of making noise with Rex. Okay, well then you got to be quiet on the stairs.
Jack's over here like singing a song to Rex on the stairs.
Okay. Zeb, that looks like my Pottery Barn margarita server. This is just a candle. I've not seen a Pottery Barn margarita server.
So I forget the name of the style, but this is a pretty popular style.
Yeah, we painted that style a while.
But it used to be brass. Someone spray painted it silver. That's kind of chipping and coming off.
Rhoda says we can't hear him. No, just I can hear him.
No, we can hear him like he's like sitting right here next to us, and it's distracting.
Yeah, if you have had kids, you know what it's like when they constantly make little noises, and all of a sudden you're at high alert. You're a little overstimulated. It's not something they talked about back in the day, at the beginning of my motherhood, but now that it's something that is discussed, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It was all day long with the little jibber jabber noises, and people say, oh, you'll miss that, and I'm sure I will, but also sometimes at the end of the day, it's a little grating. And if you have ADHD, which I 100% do, I feel like I'm highly functioning, but it's hard to focus. I have the same problem when I'm teaching my cute little kids music in primary. I teach music to kids every Sunday, and I don't read music very well, and I can't carry a tune. And so when the kids are really distracting, I sometimes lose focus. It's really fun. All right, is there anything else I need to paint?
I think we about got paint on everything. I've got some.
Oh, did you want me to paint?
Yeah, if you want, I need to get that. Hold on,
I'll just work on this. What were we doing?
I was going to do some tapes and do a stripe down the middle and stencil in the stripe with the crockery. So like this.
Oh, I'll just use
the same effect that this has.
I'll just go find our grain sack stencil.
Okay.
Well, I'll see if I can find it. All right, this cabinet over here is a hot mess.
It is. It's got a lot of stuff in it. It just gets worse over time. We just keep throwing things in there.
I cleaned it out the last time, so I'm patiently waiting for it to be Zeb's turn. And
you know that I will do it, but also it'll be like you won't be able to get the door closed
there goes all your chess pieces.
before I finally break and get around to it.
I don't know why the chess set is in this cabinet.
I don't either. All the board games are over in the other room. So this still has, someone used this and left, they like had like a paper tag or something, probably with the price or whatever on it. And it's up underneath on this bearing. Let's see if I can get it out. It's like they put it on before they put the handle on. And then they glued the handle over the top of it.
We have roughly 2 million stencils, Zeb.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, if you're looking for the grain sack stencil, good luck. I haven't seen that one in a minute.
Well, I'm dedicated now to finding it.
Okay. I'm just over here trying to cut a tag off that's not wanting to come off at all. I think we're getting it.
Something else.
We're getting close.
People say, how do you know what you're going to do? I'm like, well, whatever I find.
All right, what other? Oh, maybe that'll work. That's why I carry a multi-tool as my my pocket knife, because it's got all the things on it. They started putting clips on them so you can just put them in your pocket. It's awesome. And this is really under here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like I'm on a mission now. Oh, I also saw a spot that needed more paint. So you could have taped it off 3 times by now.
I don't want to. I'm going to use a stencil.
All right.
It might not be the original plan, but a stencil will be done.
Well, now it's your plan because you've got it over there with you.
I have a lot of stencils, okay?
There are a lot of stencils over there. Can you guys hear the rustling? Jamie going through those stencils. There's like a box this thick, and they're just solid in there. And then there's more, and there's like 2 boxes.
What are these ones called?
Something scroll or swag. I don't know.
No, are these the?
So that's not what my plan was. I wanted a straight line. Are you taking the wheels?
I'm taking the wheels.
Or taking the reins?
Yeah, these are the ones that we made when we made the plates. Caitlin, do you remember what these ones are?
Cody, I don't recommend barking at the street sweeper.
I feel like the binder wouldn't really work for me because the stencils it would have to be like that big. You can just like put them on clips.
We need like an entire like filing cabinet.
I actually just think giant Ziploc bags with like different styles of stencils would be helpful. I mean, we own every single stencil that we've ever made and some that we didn't come into production, so there's a lot. Have I thought of getting colored caps for my braces? No. I feel like I look like I'm 12 with them anyways, and so I'm not going to put colors on them.
I was putting tags in yesterday's video, and the AI, the algorithm, always suggests tags to help with your search, like if people are searching for various things, and it literally watches your whole video in the background and then makes these suggestions. And one of the suggestions was teen girl makes money with thrift flips. And I was like, there's no teen girls in this. But since Jamie's got braces, the algorithm thinks that she's a teenager.
So there you have it. I will not be adding colors. I don't mind looking younger, but looking like a teenager with braces just isn't a thing. I'm finally kind of getting used to talking with them, although I feel like I still have a lot of slobber in my mouth, so that's lovely. All right, I think this is the border, like the transfer wear border pack or something.
Maybe. Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know if Kaylin's looking. There you go. She found it. Her and I were on the same page. Yeah, transferware border pack. So I'm going to use Provincial.
All right, this is now taking more time than I'm willing to give to it. I will probably get a little wire and run it around later to get that out.
Julie says I'd be a cutie patootie. I'm 42, so I feel like I'm past cutie patootie, but thanks. I'm like, I want to look sophisticated. Although that's not really my life. If I like dress up and think I'm so cute or whatever, and I've really worked hard to like pull an outfit together, which happens almost never, there's always like toilet paper stuck to my shoe or something. Like I'm never going to be all the way pulled together. I'm not posh. Let's put it that way. Thanks, Renee. She says I'm an Invisalign fail. We film a lot, and Invisalign gave me a horrible lisp. And if you don't do YouTube, probably not a problem. But if you do YouTube, I was constantly pulling them out or trying to wear them while we filmed, and then I would lose them, and it was just a thing. And so I just told my dentist, just throw some regular, or my orthodontist, just throw regular braces because I'm over it. And I really just want my teeth to be straight, and I want to bleach them. And I may be doing a few cosmetic things to them. So I needed to get my braces over and done with.
Well, and now they're like, oh yeah, you'll be done in July.
Yeah. And I'm a decently vain person, so I'll be honest with that. And so when I got them put on, I was like, what did I do? I'm getting used to them now. It's not quite so shocking, but they're still not my favorite thing.
Pretty sure you may have teared up a little when you showed me when you got home.
I know. It's hard to admit that you have vanity, but I do. And so it's hard. Especially, and you know, for most people, it's not that big of a deal, but you're like, when you're constantly on camera, you do see yourself. And it does make a difference, but it's fine. Paige says, not posh, me either. I'm Polish. Does that count? 100%. One of our very best friends is Polish. And we love him. And he's pretty posh. I say posh because I have a cute neighbor she's Welsh. And she told me, she's like, you can have my dishes because you guys are posh and you'll use them. So I have like her china pattern. I have a few pieces. I'm actually saving
her exact words were, my kids are just going to sell them in a yard sale for like 50 cents a piece.
Yeah. I want them to be used. So I'm actually saving them for Odelia. I need to go get the rest of her china set. She's older. And so she's like, yeah, I'm going to pass these on. All right. That's cute. Not Zeb's original plan.
No, it looks good.
But it's acceptable to you.
Yeah.
And then I'll do something cute on the ends. I don't know what. I'm cool enough for you. Well, that's good. There's a limit to my vanity, though. Like I don't spend hours getting ready every day. My makeup routine is fairly simple. I do one thing that is not a secret that I do keep up on. I don't color my hair, but I do go get Botox about every 6 months, even though I'm supposed to go every like 3 months. I just twice a year is all I can do. And like every 3 years, I've had filler put in my cheeks like twice now. And Jack, you need to leave. Dad, that's when Dad is saying, so we can finish. We'll be done in a little bit.
You said you were going to be quiet and you're still just fidgeting over there. Like go all the way up. Go all the way up.
Do something.
You have 1,000 things you can do in your room while we do this.
And I'm not ashamed of it. It's funny because people will say, oh, you don't need that. But also in the same breath, when I'm behind, which happens a lot, I'll get you look tired. Well, that is not, in case nobody told you, telling somebody they look tired is not nice. It basically means, hey, you look like crap. Have you not been sleeping? And I'm not tired. It's usually just because my lines have set into my face. Caitlin says I'm bougie-ish. There you go. So that's my main thing. I get that done twice a year, and that's it. I occasionally will have like a peel done, but I don't get my nails done for obvious reasons. And I don't get my hair done. I used to get my eyelashes done, but that was like, you know what? That is way too much effort. I can't do that. So I stopped with the lash situation, and my eyebrows are my own. But I've been blessed with thick eyebrows, was the bane of my existence in the 90s when those pencil thin eyebrows were in. But I was too lazy then to pluck them super thin, and now I'm glad I was because I have thick eyebrows are on trend. I'm well embrowed. I feel like we all have our things. Kelly says, so fun to watch, and the honesty. The honesty is good. And to be fair, if I ever couldn't get Botox or whatever, I would move on with my life and be fine. Would I be sad? No, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Just a couple quick little tape. There's already lines on this. It's like it's routed in. Someone's already done the hard work. And this is juniper in the cottage color.
Christy says Zeb's a good sport with his giggles. His giggles are because he's like worried that somebody's going to be uncomfortable about what I'm talking about. And
sometimes I think it's funny.
Sometimes you think it's funny. Also, his mother raised him to like, there's just things you don't talk about. And then I talk about everything. I
definitely am like way past that.
Yeah.
Just whatever is on your mind, you just spout it out.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
So Jack is having a struggle today. Usually he's pretty chill and can go hang out and be quiet, but his brothers and sisters, or his brother and sister, I guess we only have one of each living at home now for Jack. They all have friends that go do stuff, and his friends are all still kind of younger, and you got to arrange like a whole play date situation. And you know, his
Christmas break is hard.
Christmas break is families are doing a lot of things, so he hasn't had a lot of stuff to do, and he is on the edge of like his max boredom, waiting for me to come help him do some 3D prints.
Pam says, I plucked too much and now I need hair replacement. You're not alone, friend. You are not alone. The one thing that I do for my eyebrows is I do use like an eyebrow gel, a pretty cheap one. I think I get it on Amazon. It's on auto ship. Just because my eyebrows get crazy. Like, I'm going to test. They'll be like all over the place. So I like to kind of keep them in a shape. I don't pluck very often, and I'm not a waxer.
You and the girls are always trying to get me to like cut my eyebrows, trim them.
Your eyebrows are out of control.
I will sometimes have like an inch-long hair just poking straight off my eyebrow, and I just run with that. Like, it's fine. No one has ever said anything to me about it out in public.
You did get a comment about your nose hair once.
Nose hair, yep. A little girl looked straight up my nose and was like, "Why do you have so much hair in your nose?"
Well, it was coming out of your nose.
Yeah.
It wasn't because it was coming up your nose. So Zeb does trim his nose hair.
But, you know, no one bugs me about that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace this. It's going to be like a full-blown mustache up on above my eyes.
An eye mustache? When are you going to start? Brenda wants to know, when are you going to start working on the cottage again? She's not worried about your eyebrow hair.
Brenda, there has been talk, but that's like every month. So it just depends on what happens in our day and priorities. And right now it is something we need to get done, but it's not a priority. Like if it sits there for another 5 years and doesn't get done, it's not going to hurt anybody or cost us any extra money or anything like that.
That's just sitting there. We might, if we get it done, we might offer some days for Airbnb, but it won't ever be a full-time Airbnb because that's not something I want to do. Odelia will be home from her mission a year from March. So we kind of would like to have it done by then because her room is being turned into a guest room. Jack's old room is going to be the printer room because we have a sticker printer and our giant commercial printers. And then Redrick's old room is going to be Jack's room. So right now we're transitioning rooms. All right. I think that's cute. I'm going to let dry, lightly distress it. It's not stripes, but it's the stencil I found.
Whatever was under this paint is bubbling like crazy. I haven't even like got this, like it's still just warm to the touch and it's bubbling it up.
Don't forget the random chin hairs. That is true. Zeb just shaves those off. I have like 4. They put me on testosterone replacement because my testosterone is really low. And I literally just like all this facial hair started coming and I was like, I don't care. I don't care if my testosterone is low. I'm not dealing with this. And I went as far to even buy one of those IPL lasers. And I've never used it, but then I stopped on the replacement. and it all went away. And I have like 3 hairs to pluck, and I can manage that. Like that is manageable.
I got to get a fun little stencil for this.
Will
so
you
I'll
show
be right
us their
back.
new rooms? I might do Jack's on the Jamie and Zeb channel. We have been filming it. Depends if we have time to edit it. Jack doesn't care. Some rooms I don't show off because it's privacy for my kids. Like Eliza doesn't want people in her room, and I honor that. Redrick's room, if you go to the Jamie and Zeb channel, isn't it on there?
I filmed it. I never got the video edited.
So maybe.
I have all the footage.
We have the footage. Okay, so these are dry now. They're my frames. I'm gonna get the. Can you grab me the sandpaper, sweetie?
It's right there.
Oh, I got sandpaper. I just need dark wax and a wax brush.
Okay, it's gonna be a minute, so if you need it, you might have to just
I'm gonna
run over and grab it.
I've got sandpaper, so I'm gonna get this going.
Okay.
Slightly sanding. Nothing crazy. I don't know if you can even see that. Just bringing out some of the original texture going along the edges. You don't want it to look like a zebra stripe. So keep that in mind. If it looks like a zebra stripe, it's not a big deal. You can just paint over it. Zeb is a pretty great husband. And fun fact, Zeb plucks my eyebrows when they do get plucked a lot. And he does.
Eliza found out that
Zeb plucks
I'm
Eliza's
very
eyebrows
fastidious
too.
about things sometimes. And so now I'm plucking Eliza's eyebrows for her.
Neither
too.
one of us have like a ton of, I used to have a lot more eyebrow hair. Now I don't really. I don't really want to paint the back of this because it has these plastic.
All right. If you were ever going to buy one stencil pack and you were just going to get one and you were going to live with that one for the rest of your life, the Grain Sack Minis are probably the most used stencil they're like my go-to stencil because I can take like all the little elements off of here and just put it right where I need it to be. And they fit on just about everything.
I would normally just paint the back of this, but see how they have these little plastic things? I don't want to take those off because they give it a little space from the wall, which is nice. And if I paint them, I'd have to take them off or paint over them, and I don't want to. So hopefully whoever gets this isn't irritated that the back isn't painted, but there was a reason. I love the idea of Zeb being a beautician. He is. The other day.
I actually have an uncle that put himself through law school.
Oh, yeah.
He was working at a beauty salon and he did hair. And then he put himself through law school doing that. And then he bought the salon and then he had like a few of them, I think. And then he sold them. And now he's living his best life, like retired in Texas. And he also has like a big law firm that he owns.
And he also can cook.
Yeah.
And he's also married.
He does all the things.
To cute Aunt Pam. Yep. All right. They don't think Milwaukee tools make beauty tools, they said?
No, they don't. Not yet. Not yet.
Zeb is a man of many things. The same way that I can like install flooring and move big, heavy pieces of furniture around, Zeb can also do delicate things. It's funny, the comments on my taking my Christmas decor down is, it's so nice that he helped you. I'm like...
When we see that, I'm like, you know, Jamie took down, she did help, but I took down like the tree and all the garlands and all the big stuff, which is like the bulk of the decorations.
I was helping him.
Yeah, she was helping me.
And he lives here. So it's kind of like when people say that, oh, it's so nice when your husband babysits the kids. It ain't babysitting when it's their own kids. And it's not helping when it's his house. We live here together. I mean, I realize there's some situations where like husbands are working outside the home and the woman is taking care of the home. But in our case, we're both working. So when we're doing projects around the house, it's the both of us. And Zeb doesn't love taking up and setting up Christmas decor. It's not like his favorite thing. But guess what? We do it for work. So we use it for work. So it's part of that. I'm just trying to clean up the edge of this frame in case you're wondering. Make it look a little less. Ooh, horrible. All right. Here's my harvest one. I just like that it's lighter. It was so dark and it was like moody. And now I feel like it brings out the highlights of the pumpkins. Yeah, Caitlin says that's how her household works too. Yeah, her and Jacob both work. And Jacob does all the laundry, which I do have to say laundry is something that cute Zeb doesn't
Listen, don't get your hopes up.
We just have differing ideas of when the laundry should actually be done. So.
When you no longer have clean clothes you can put on your body, that's when you wash a load or two.
It's fine. That's not that big of a deal. And if needed, he will do it. And sometimes I'm like, hey, let's do the laundry and we'll hang it up together. and watch a show. But likewise, like he keeps up on all the household repairs. He's always gluing something, clamping something, filling something. With mostly it's just like tag team, right? Like when we're done with this, if we are, I don't know if we're going to do our video for Thursday. I think we're going to do that first.
When we're done with this, I'm going to probably have lunch.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got to take all those pictures because we got sunshine today instead of overcast.
So I think Thursday's video, we're not going to the bins for a second time in a row because we just don't want, well, I don't want to drive all the way to Salt Lake. So I think we're going to do a challenge video. I don't know what, but we'll do some sort of challenge video for Thursday. So we'll go thrifting today, and then we'll probably do the challenge maybe Thursday morning. Robin says tacos, question mark? I don't know. I don't know if he's taking me for tacos.
We could go to La Fontaine and get enchiladas.
I do love Mexican food.
All right. So you can see where the light cream color that I made up is. I used this element, and I didn't even use the whole stencil and fit it right in there. I'm waiting for this to dry so that I can distress it a little bit. And the tape actually helped me out and peeled some of that paint off because it was still a little damp. But I just used 2 of the little stencils here. I used this one and then the top half of that to fit in my green area.
That's cute. I like that, Deb.
And now I'll do the other side with something else.
What time is it?
We've been on for a little over an hour. It's 11:08.
Okay. I think we're finishing up though.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I think we probably won't do that rolling pin on camera. I don't think it's sold yet anyway, so that could wait till next week. Oh, Vicky says it's her birthday weekend. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Vicky.
I grew up next to the border, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it because lots of people love Mexican food, but I could literally eat Mexican food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sometimes I do.
I mean, I grew up in Arizona. Does that count? I
literally lived on the border.
I don't love like when it's like scorch your face off spicy. Don't give me that kind. I don't like that kind.
I grew up next to the border. There were no black beans.
Pinto.
I never even heard of them until I moved to Utah.
Pinto and mostly refried.
Black beans are Satan's little turds. They're just gross.
They do kind of taste like dirt.
They do. They don't. And sometimes I go to Costa Vida or Cafe Rio, and one of their little black beans gets in my burrito, and I'm like, nope. That's what we had for dinner last night was Costa Vida.
That should be some indication about how much she loves her pinto beans because those are some strong words about beans. I do have. Hey, I have strong feelings about beans. And none of my friends from Calexico eat black beans either that I know of. Although, I do have half a burrito because I never finished my whole burrito. So I could eat that. So you saying you got leftovers and I'm on my own?
No, we can go out if you want to, but you actually prefer to eat at home.
I do. I probably will find something if you're going to have that.
I usually
go out because
the fridge.
I go out because that's like Jamie's love language. If you take her out to some sort of fast food, you've made her day.
It is a true story. I do love eating out. I'm the last of 4 girls, and my dad worked a lot. And so my mom and I ate out a lot, and I love eating out. We do cook. I mean, I made a cheesecake, guys. I can cook. And it came out just fine. I was like, wow, I forgot how easy that was.
It came out just fine. Like she was surprised.
Well, sometimes when you haven't done something in a while.
Sorry, you guys can't really see what I'm doing over here. Maybe one of these days, if we get that studio rolling, which will probably happen before the cottage. Don't want to hurt anybody's
feelings. Here, I'll give you an up close and personal.
That maybe we'll get like an overhead cam shot going.
Yeah, I really can't tell you if the cottage is going to be done, but I really do think that the studio is going to be done. We had some things going on in our life last year that we're never going to talk about because they've kind of come and gone and didn't turn out how we wanted. But we spent a lot of money and it took a lot of time, and this next year we're not going to have that. So I think we're going to get some things done, and we were kind of holding off from the studio because we thought we would need to be home more, and we're not gonna. So I think we're going to get that studio finished this year, and that's going to be a good project because it is. I don't mind filming at home, but it would be nice to be able to just leave the mess. And we're going to be redoing our kitchen. And so it'll be nice to just like have a nice kitchen. I don't really want to wash my paintbrushes in my English sink that I've literally waited for 20 years. So we'll see. We'll see when the stove shows up.
All right, so I just used that little part of this like strawberry label and this top little portion of that wheat.
I don't mind black-eyed peas, which do also taste like dirt, but that's just because my Aunt Willie used to make black-eyed peas with ham hock in them. It's like tradition. I just don't like black beans.
So just filling up this little green section here, and I'll get that sanded in a minute once it's dry.
My sister Renee says she's sitting there with the door open enjoying the weather. I'd probably be sweating. It's actually been warmer here, like the normal.
Yeah, it froze last night pretty good, but like 3 nights in a row before that, it didn't even freeze. It was getting down to like 35, 36 degrees at night.
I was thinking we probably should get the pool all cleaned up if we have time today. Because
I can do that right after this.
We keep saying we're going to shut the pool down for the winter, but we haven't yet. So
at this point, it's like we got 2 months to go. What are we doing here?
And if you shut your pool down, then it takes a lot longer to open it because you have to wait till the ice chunk melts. Nadine says, I love my box. Did you buy that box? Which box did you buy, Miss Nadine? Miss Nadine.
Okay.
Or maybe it was a different box that we sent to her. Nadine is we'll say a frequent shopper. Deborah says, I miss Aunt Willie's cooking. Me too. My Aunt Willie, she grew up in Arizona, but she was a true Southern woman. My mom's family comes from Texas. She could make biscuits, fried chicken, and her black-eyed peas were second to none. My mom's actually an excellent cook too, but she does not like to cook.
Your mom loves to cook things in the microwave. If it can be cooked in the microwave, she'll cook it. She does fudge in the microwave.
I need to swap.
Whoops. So I spent a lot of time on this little box, but I really love it and showed you guys a technique. You can really expand this. If you had a large like chest or tote or crate or something, we have a lot of these stencils in a full size, like 10 to 12 inch size.
Yeah, the minis are more popular, but if you like to do big stuff, we carry the big ones because it's really not that much harder to like put it in a big one.
To just blow it up.
Oh, the one that you just finished. Oh, perfect, Nadine. Ooh, breaded okra is good. Okay, this is just not working. I think.
Guys, look what I have today.
The other one.
Look what I have. I've been using my thing. I forgot I even brought it out.
Look at that.
I've been using my knife to open everything.
Who knew the thing that was going to be the most complicated for me was going to be opening and putting in the glass?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think even though they're the same, I think this one is slightly larger.
So this is done. It has a built-in sealer in the paint, but I'm just going to do a quick wax. Oh, that's stiff. Hold on. I'm just going to do a quick wax on it just to kind of give it a little sheen that's the same all the way around.
Yes, Susie, it did sell on Saturday. Everything gets listed Saturday at 8. It goes live at 8:25 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We do not pre-sell anything,
I don't
but
know
it
that
all
you can say
goes live at
standard
once.
because that changes.
Oh, okay.
when
Well,
daylight's.
Mountain Time. There we go.
Just look up Mountain Time. It'll find it.
And we don't pre-sell anything, but it does all go up at the same time, so it sells pretty fast. Let's see. Aunt B says, thanks for the best laugh.
Do you want me to distress this?
Jamie, you used to call breaded okra little chicken. I did. We used to go to a restaurant called Po Folks. They sold breaded okra, and I thought it was little chicken.
Did you hear me?
What?
Are you wanting me to distress this?
Yeah, if you want to. It's your project.
It's your project now.
I was waiting for a witty comment because I took over your project.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's go pick up the backyard. The
So,
sun's shining.
Susie, we do say it's already sold because it gets listed at the beginning of our live video. So it gets listed, everything gets listed at once, and then we go live. And so sometimes it sells at the beginning. And
Yeah.
so by the time we show it, it's been sold, but it all gets listed at one time.
We usually show the whole haul so that it gives people a really good idea of like sizing, how large it is, what it's going to look like.
Here's look how cute. The bunny matches the crockery. I just thought for it saying spring, having a black frame was too dark.
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah, I like it. And they're both, these sold on the live video because these are already listed. I actually think this one needs a little bit more distress on this side.
Okay.
Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, it all goes live and then we go live. So some of it sells the second it goes up, but it all goes up at 8:25 on Saturday. So if you download the Jamie Ray Vintage app on Apple or Android, we do send a notification.
Okay, so that worked out perfect. And you can see this has only been curing during the live stream. I used that E6000. It's very strong. It's not going to come apart. And the hardest thing I had to do on this was like wash the Goodwill sticker off of the closure. So that's right. I think this has already been sold too.
The hardest thing that I had to do was get that glass back in. They definitely were not exactly the same size.
Oh, did you put them in the wrong ones?
Yeah, but I thought they were the exact same size, but one was just slightly off from the other. They were custom framed, so that's probably why.
Oh,
Dark wax my little hook here.
All right, so this is the provincial color that we've been using a lot the last few days. It's a really great taupe.
Did I just say my Aunt Willie? Yes, I have an Aunt Willie. Willie Odelia. She's passed on. She's my mom's sister.
But that's where we got Odelia's name from.
And my daughter Odelia is named after for my Aunt Willie. Okay, need a rag. Can you adhere a doorknob to a piece of glass and have it hold with E6000? I don't know. I would get a bit and drill through it and like put some sort of.
It works good, but are you like hanging something on that doorknob or using it for an actual doorknob? Because this is mostly just going to sit, and I had a large surface to glue to, like all the way around that top of that candlestick.
And it's going to be this way and not this way with something pulling on it, right? Yeah. So like anything that's going to go on that is going to sit on top of where it's glued instead of pulling against it. So it's kind of a little different.
It is strong, but every glue has its limitations. Yeah. Like it
so
eventually
you could
will
try
fail.
it. I haven't done that application. So this is all done. And the nice thing about using the dark wax is whoever buys this will probably put black screws in here and it won't look awkward because of the dark wax. It'll kind of just go together. And if you guys forgot, it was spray painted silver before. It was cream, then somebody spray painted it silver, and then I just made it look kind of old. I glue metal to glass all the time, Robin says. So it's worth a try. I can't tell you how well it'll work because I have.
So the E6000 works on like glass, wood, plastic, metal. It's meant to work on that.
Who is winning at the selling challenge? The last few selling challenge videos that we've done, I won.
Yeah.
One time Zeb won by like 50 cents, but that's because I didn't pay attention when I priced it. I should have priced mine just slightly higher. I didn't.
Like even if she'd sold all her things, she wouldn't be able to beat me.
Sometimes the challenge is not a competition. It's just, can we find stuff? It's kind of fun to go in with a preconceived plan.
And let's be honest, when Jamie wins, I win.
Oh, Lynn says, my Aunt Willie lives in Alabama. She's still 89 years and makes the best biscuits.
Ooh.
Zeb's parents live in Alabama. And I have to say, I don't know your mom's biscuits. She doesn't make them a lot. And then whenever I make biscuits, she always says that she wants to start making biscuits more. So maybe now that she lives in Alabama, your mom will perfect your biscuits.
She'll start making biscuits.
It took me about 10 years to perfect that. All right, Zeb's finishing that up. I'm going to grab everything that we finished, and we'll do.
We didn't ever put knobs on that. Those just need to be put on there, though, right? You're not painting that or distressing it.
So I've got these on the bag wall at Goodwill, and this was missing the knobs on it. And I found these screws on some really ugly knobs that I just tossed because they were not redeemable. And Zeb's going to cut these down because they're too long, and then put these on here. So you just have to envision this finished because it will look like that. Got this that we just stressed and finished up. oiled. We've got our little cloche cone head situation. Biscuits and sausage gravy. We do have a video, Cooking with Jamie Ray, Biscuits and Gravy. If you Google it on YouTube, you should be able to find it. I do show how I make my biscuits and gravy. I have changed it up a little bit since then, but not much. The only difference is now I put grated butter in my biscuits. Pretty yummy. And no, I don't cut down on the other ingredients. I still make them the same way. I just now add grated butter. So they just get more fat in them.
All right.
Okay. Zeb's going to take this off. He'll pan it so you guys can see it.
I got to dark wax
close.
this first.
Okay. I'm just telling them in case
Where
they're
did
like,
you go
oh,
with
I
the
can't
dark
see
wax?
that.
Is that over here?
You will be able to see it eventually. I think we did good in an hour and a half. Finished a lot of projects. All right. All this hour, I've been thinking that this is Waste Not Wednesday. Well, this is in lieu of Waste Not Wednesday. So now that we have more people on here, 714, which is a lot for a Tuesday, we are not going live tomorrow. We said we were, but we decided to do a Paint-A-Palooza today instead of a Waste Not Wednesday tomorrow, because tomorrow we're just going to be hanging out with the family. I made reservations at a bougie hotel for a buffet. We're going to do that. Something I've always wanted to do. And now that we only have 3 kids at home, it's more affordable.
Odelia's like, what? You're going there?
You're
I'm
going to
like,
the Grand America?
I'm like, you're gone. So yes.
And my mom is super excited to go too. So hopefully she feels well enough to do it. She always wants to stay at the Grand America, which we're not staying overnight, but we're just going to go eat there. And if the weather's good, we're going to take out the quads and go for a ride and just chill out on New Year's. Did the Teapot get listed? No, Pam, it isn't. But as soon as we're done, I will get that listed, and anything that hasn't sold will get updated. I actually think there's maybe a couple of totes and this coat rack that aren't sold. I think everything else sold when we initially listed it a few weeks ago, but I'll get it updated. And I will get that Teapot listed because that I forgot to list. So
I don't know if this sold. This candlestick might still be available.
Susie says, I have yet to perfect the biscuits. So while he's finishing up, oh, yeah, and the candlestick, yeah, it's still available. I'll give you a few of my tips. 1, your baking powder has to be fresh. Never buy a giant container of it because you should be replacing it every 6 months minimum. 2, you want your fats to be cold. So cold fat, ice cold water, really cut that in. Minimal stirring and kneading. And I only roll out my dough twice. So I roll it out, I cut it, I mush it together as gently as possible, softly roll it out, cut it again. And then I will typically take my biscuits and throw them in the freezer while I preheat the oven. And as soon as the oven's preheated, I throw my biscuits in the oven because you want cold dough going into a piping hot oven. And that's how you get those flaky layers. And then recently I started taking about a half a stick of butter in my regular recipe and grating it and then mixing that in. And what the grated butter does is it creates fluffy pockets and it makes it more like, if you've ever had canned biscuits that are flaky. So those are some of my tips, and just keep practicing because it's something you have to kind of feel.
All right, I can't see what's on this screen, so you'll have to tell me what they can see on
Kaylin is dropping the link to where these items either are listed already or will be listed, because some of them I'm just going to update the photos. They're on our thrift finds and thrift flips. We do have lots of items that carry over from week to week that have been painted by us. One of my goals in 2025 is to have a collection on the website, just our hand painted stuff, because I think sometimes people are looking for our thrift specifically.
All right. There you have it, guys. Have a happy new year.
Happy New Year. 2025 is going to be amazing. 2024 was a lot for us, but also so many good things that happened, so many records that we broke. So thank you for being here. And we will see you next year. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
See you next year. We will have our new video out Thursday and then our Saturday thrift haul as usual.